Should you send 300 plus email and demo reel just to look for your first job? Everybody, this is Alessandro. Welcome back to my channel. So for the last couple of weeks, I was noticing a couple of posts on LinkedIn where people were saying, hey, don't send 300 plus, 400 plus CV, to spam it to every company desperately looking for a job, because that's not gonna do anything. It's gonna waste your time. It's gonna waste company times because probably you're not qualified, and it's gonna take a toll on you psychologically, because if nobody replies you, everybody reject you, you're gonna feel really, really bad, right? And as usual, guys, my personal thoughts is quite different. It's not just black and white. And I think it was an interesting topic to discuss, because I have some of my students that when they study with me, they have no experience, they apply for a job, but sometimes I tell them, hey, at the beginning you cannot be too choosy, so apply a little bit more and see what happens, right? But I think there is some truth in both cases, but I want to discuss a little bit more, and I also want to share a little bit about my experience, because I get one of my first job, just massively apply everywhere, and I want to give you a little bit of a context. So first of all, yes, it's true that when people apply, I think there is a delusional. They are not very objective about what their skill are, right? So they definitely apply for position or skill level or company that they're not qualified to work for. That's the reality, right? But there is also another side, right? And I'm telling you what. So sometimes you might apply for a company where you feel you qualify, and maybe, who knows, maybe they don't accept you not because you're not good, but maybe because they have other 20 candidates. You're good, but they're better than you, right? Maybe they realize, hey, you know what, this person come from this country for whatever reason, right? And there is some problem with the visa, whatever, they don't want to hire foreigner. You might not even know, right? You might have a good portfolio, but the director wants to receive a portfolio with a specific style, right? Maybe something that doesn't see in your own demo reel. It might happen, guys. It happened to me. You apply, your CV goes in a database, whatever, and deletes the person who is in charge. It doesn't see your demo reel. It happens to me when sometimes I remember I applied to a company, then I after weeks I didn't receive anything. I was quite confident about my skill, and I get in contact with the recruiter, with the HR from the company, and I says, hey, I want to just make sure my demo reel went through, blah blah blah. I give him the link. Then 2 days later, I had an interview with the lead, and I told them, like, hey guys, by the way, before I contact your HR, I sent your demo reel, and they told me, oh yeah, well, sometimes when you're busy, we don't have time to watch all of them. So you might not know. Sometimes get even lost in the massive number of CV that they receive, right? So there are plenty of reason why you might not get the attention or the chance that you deserve in some cases, right? Again, so yeah, and you don't want to just apply to only 5 to 10 companies, very, very picky, very selected, because they might not even looking, or whatever is the reason, right? And you want to just sit there and wait. And of course, I want to repeat, guys, there might be a chance where, but we'll talk a little bit later about this, that your skill is just not there. And yes, in that cases, you are a waste of time. Another things that I wanted to mention, this is like a very, very interesting. Some of my students, not all of them, but some of them, considering that they have no working experience, they were just studying animation with me, right? They apply for the first job. They managed to get a job, not as a junior, not as an intern, but a mid-level animator. They got the offer. And the reason being why this has happened, two things. First of all, their demo reel that they did with me was quite good, right? So the level of their demo reel, of their portfolio, was the same quality or even higher maybe of the other mid-level animator that were in the company. Not my words, was the word of the animation director or the lead animator who hired them and who did the interview. They praised them for this, right? So that's definitely number one things. And second, because they apply to a position that technically they were not qualified for, because they have no experience. Guys, how many times you see on LinkedIn and stuff like that, company, oh, we are looking for a junior with 20 years of experience, right? And people always get angry and stuff like that. Well, guess what? in the cases of some of my students, it happened exactly the opposite. They apply for a job, and they also told me, they said, Alessandro, should I apply only for junior, because I don't see a lot of junior position. Like, what should I do, because I know I'm not qualified, I want to waste company time. And I told them, don't worry about it, your demo really strong. If the lead animator is smart over there, yes, you will bypass the fact you don't have experience, you will make in the company. When you have a great artist, that's something to treasure. So if the lead animator is smart, they will recognize that and they will give you an interview. And in fact, it's exactly what happened. I would do something like this. If I have I receive an amazing portfolio, and this guy has no experience, I still want him into the team. I'll let him grow and I'll teach them the experience, right? And so, but you see what I'm going with these guys, they did exactly this. They apply for a position where they do not have the experience. Could be another case, guys. Maybe you apply for a position, or maybe you don't qualify for the specific position, but you know what? Maybe the company, he has multiple projects, multiple games, multiple movies, and the lead animator could say, you know what? This portfolio doesn't fit the project I'm working on, but I know the other lead is working on another project. I'll pass the CV to that guy. Maybe he can fit. That's something, it happens all the time, right? So this is something, guys, that I want you to be a little bit aware, because things are not just black and white. Okay, there is always a lot of side things, and again, understand you don't want to waste time sending 300 email. You don't want to waste people time, but sometimes beside having a good portfolio requires good timing, right? And a bit of luck as well, right? And when I say, guys, good timing could be, guys, sometimes it happens that company urgently needs someone. Like, oh, an animator just left me like a week ago. We have the deadline in 2 months, in 3 months. I need urgently someone to come in and help in no matter what. Not really no matter what, but maybe they need someone like this. And maybe your demo reel comes at the right time. It's actually quite good. All the condition met. Say, you know what? Let's have an interview with this guy and see if he wants to join immediately. Maybe even working from home or something, right? You don't know, right? So, again, yes, I understand the point of not applying massively to every company. I agree, and I want to talk this at the very end, that some people are delusional about their skill. I had witnesses this personally, but at the same time, it also has the benefit to send a little bit everywhere. Of course, there is also the downside. It happens to me when I remember when I finished Animation Mentor, and spoiler alert, I didn't get a job. I was applying everywhere, and I didn't get any job, any offer, no interview. Most of the time they didn't even reply. When they reply, I was excited to open the email just to find out it was another rejection. Mentally, if you're not very strong, this is gonna be devastating for you. And for me, I was very devastated. For 3 months, I just apply, keep receiving, email, until at some point I was very, very sad, and I realized, okay, I have to do something about it, right? So this one, if you're not really strong mentally, if you don't have someone to support you to open up your mind a little bit, can be very, very devastating. But I think it's something we have to go through. I was used to rejection in my life, if you're catching my drift here. So it wasn't too bad, but it helped me to seek a private mentor to continue to grow my skill. And so now I want to go to the second topic, where some people are completely delusional. They think they finish school, they have their own portfolio, they think they are good, they're better than what they are. They have no idea where the industry standard is. They think like, oh, I can get this job and everything, and then they fail, and they realize, oh, it's the company evil, blah blah. No, it's the problem. It's you. I think I told you this, guys. That one of my students, he managed to do a nice portfolio, but it was always taking extremely long with a lot of my supervision. So when I finally got the interview and they give him a test, and I told him, hey, you might not be ready for the test, because last time it took you 4 months to do a shot, and now this test you have to do in 1 week. And he was like, no, Alessandro, don't worry, I have everything figured out. I think I can do it. I'm like, I don't know where your confidence coming from. How do you think, if it last time took you 4 months, every week meeting with me to do a shot, and now you have 1 week entirely by yourself, how are you gonna be able to do it? Oh no, Alessandro, don't worry, blah blah blah. And it didn't pass it, right? And it was so devastated, and I was like, I bring him the fact, right? But again, there are people delusional like this. I see sometimes on LinkedIn and stuff like that. Oh, hey guys, this is my demo reel. I'm thinking to apply. Wish me good luck. And I see the demo reel. It's I'm sorry to say this, guys. It's garbage. There are some body mechanic shot, acting shot where your cutter is all popping, the spacey, it's all messy. The only feedback I could give them, you need to go back and study the bouncing ball, not to apply to any job, right? So there is also these things, and that's why I always recommend, guys, beside when you finish your school and everything, most important things I suggest you do the effort, spend some money, hire someone privately, someone outside of the school. And I'm telling you why I'm saying this. Someone privately that is very harsh and very strict to review your portfolio and say, hey, I'm thinking to apply this one for a job. Am I ready? Do I have any chance? And give him some context. Someone who's not afraid to speak the truth. All right. I'm saying you this to hire someone else outside of the school, because as much as I enjoyed all the school that I did, one of the problems that I found that there was always over positivity. Everything is beautiful, everything is amazing. Man, this shot is amazing. That's fantastic. It's all bullshit, guys. It's not like this, and it doesn't help. I do understand the positivity reinforcement, but I don't like to lie to people. I like to be very strict and very honest. And so if you have this kind of attitude, you inflate the ego of the person that is thinking is good. That's what that is thinking is ready to apply when it's not, right? You just create a huge imbalance and him to think very unrealistically about themselves. And then where things snap, because he's going from school to the real world, he's gonna be very disappointed. He's gonna have some struggle to understand how things really are meant to be, right? So that's my suggestion, guys. Invest something and have someone professional look at your demo reel and see if you're ready, because you might not be ready. You know, a lot of people sometimes contact me after they contact me, say, Alessandro, review my demo reel because I've been applied for 6 months, I didn't get anything, and I have to tell them, you must be crazy to apply with this. I'm sorry to tell you this. Like, how the hell you were thinking this? You know, if you were my student, I would let you go back on the basic class. Like, you wouldn't have passed even the first class with this with me. I have to tell them. But in my opinion, you should do it before you started to apply, to save yourself some pain. Okay, guys? I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Ciao.